Hi there, I am Charu Navaneeth and this is a video tutorial series on CNC machining. I am doing this video primarily for the beginners who want to expand their knowledge in the field of CNC machining. And one such machine is right behind me. This machine is called a vertical machining center. You know what a machining center is? I want to tell you this specifically because many people ascribe different meaning to a machining center. In order to classify a machine itself as a machining center, it should essentially have certain features and capabilities. Firstly, all the operations done by a machining center should essentially involve a rotating cutter, and this cutter should be able to rotate at varying speeds depending upon the operations it performs. Whereas the job or the workpiece in a machining center should be firmly fixed on the work table. Also, the machining center should be able to perform a wide variety of operations. Say for instance, this machine is able to do milling, drilling, reaming, tapping and many more operations in this machine itself. So in order to accomplish that, the machine need to carry a different type of tools in its tool magazine. And whenever a particular tool is called, that tool should be brought to the spindle from the magazine using an automatic tool changer. That is also a requirement. So if a particular machine essentially has these features, you can call it as a machining center. Also, the controller of a machine is critical in order to understand the operations of the machine. This particular machine has a FANUC controller. So in this video series, my explanations will be confined to a vertical machining center that carries a FANUC controller. But you don't need to worry. Even if you are working on a different machine with another controller, still the information that you get from this video series will be helpful to you, because in general, all the machines, no matter which controller you use, they perform in the same way or they have the same set of operations and procedures. However, the target audience are supposed to have certain skill set in order to elicit maximum information from the course. Firstly, you should have a reasonable understanding about how a conventional milling machine works, at least that. Secondly, you should have a sufficient knowledge about how to write manual part programming. If you have these two skill sets, then definitely this video is your cup of tea. Now let me tell you the contents of this video series that comes in 3 episodes. In the first episode, that is the one you are watching right now, I will be telling you about the user interface. This panel is called the user interface panel. It has essentially 2 regions. The top part of the panel is called the manual data input panel that essentially has some cluster of keys and a display panel. In the first episode, I will be telling you in its entirety about the MDI panel. When it comes to the second episode, I will take the second or the bottom panel of the user interface, that is called the operator panel. The operator panel has got a number of wheels and dials. I will tell you that part. Apart from that, I will also tell you how to input sample part programs into the program memory of the machine and how to execute it. Say for instance, if you want to rotate the spindle of this machine, you see the spindle of this machine, if you want to rotate that at varying RPM, then how to enter sample programs of it into the memory, that will be explained. Or if you want to bring a particular tool from the tool magazine over here, I will tell you how to input programs so as to bring a particular tool to the tool magazine using the automatic tool changer. That part will be also described in the second episode. And most importantly, there is another term that is very much critical as far as the machine is concerned. That is called telling the reference. Reference is all about setting the origin of the cutting tool, which means the machine tool or the tool takes all its movement with reference to that origin. So referencing simply means you are telling the machine tool where its origin is, or with reference to what point the tool has to take its movement in order to accomplish a particular work. So that is a critical part that will be also covered in the second episode. And coming to the third episode, I will bring to you a standard drawing coupled with a part program. And I will tell you how to input these programs block by block into the memory and how to execute that on a work that is kept on the work table. So when you watch these 3 episodes completely, you will get to know how to work with a CNC machining center. So take it from me, if you just go through it, you will understand the different aspects of a CNC machine, and that alone can give you a sense of confidence to those who are working with such similar machines. All the best.
So from now on, the screen will be focused on the MTA panel, and my voice will guide you through it in order to help you have a better understanding about the panel. To begin with, we will be first dealing with the alpha keypads over here. See, I will brief you what are these keys all about initially. So these cluster of keys are called the alpha keys. These are the numerical keys or number keys, and these cluster of keys are called the function keys. Now on this side, these 6 keys are called the edit keys, and these keys are called as the cursor control keys. So initially we will be dealing with alpha keys. So these are the alpha keys. For those who have an idea about part programming, you will know that these keys are arranged in the order they are likely to appear in a part program. Say for instance, the first letter is called the O. Each and every letter on the alpha keys have a shifted key as well. That has also due significance as far as the part programming is concerned. So take the first key. This is called the O, and the second is called the N, and the third letter in the first row is called G. So together we can read it as the ONG keys. So this kind of MTA panel is called as the ONG panel. So this kind of ONG panel can be seen in turning machines also. But in advanced machines where the difference between the turning and the milling machine is slowly blurring, you can see that the ONG panel gets replaced with the QWERTY keypad that you see in computer keyboards. Because in such machines, you don't have to say such differences in terms of operations, because such machines are called universal machines where you can do all the types of operations, where you don't need to classify the machines as turning or machining centers. So, to begin with the first letter O, the significance of O is that every program stored in the computer memory is titled by the letter O. I will take for an example. In the program list, if you go to the directory, you will see a number of programs over here. These are the programs that are stored in the database. When I simply go through it, when you just go through all the programs, you will see that every program begins with the letter O. Say for example, O1234. If I want to get a particular program, I have to write the name itself. Here is an input buffer where I can call for a program. I want O4545 for example. If I want to get that program, I just want to simply search. That program is displayed. You can see the highlighted term is O4545. So that is the significance of O. Now the next letter is called N. In part programming, we call N code as sequence number. The purpose of sequence number is to address every block in a program. You know, each letter in a programming is called as block, and all the blocks in a program are addressed by the sequence number. But in certain machines, you don't need to enter the n block or the n word at the beginning, because even without an n block or an n word, the machine will understand that if when a particular line ends with a semicolon, you are going to the next line, and the n is not a must in most of the machine. The next is the most critical word, that is called the G word, otherwise called the preparatory words. The preparatory words are used to prepare the machine to perform a specific function. Say for instance, the code G90. G90 is the code that tells the machine to follow absolute type of code programming. In absolute system, all the coordinate points in the program will be referenced to the origin that is set by the user. So likewise, there are a number of codes being used in the program. Every code has specific meaning attached to it. For example, G42. G42 is the code that tells the machine to prepare for radius compensation. Like that, there are a number of G codes in place. If you have an idea about code programming, you will be knowing all these aspects. Now, coming to the second row, these are the X, Y and Z. X, Y and Z are nothing but the coordinate axis of the machine. This machining center has got three axes, X, Y and Z. That is, the tool is able to move in the Z direction, whereas the work is able to move in the X and the Y directions. Also, X is the direction that is measured or that is considered parallel to the length of the tool bed, whereas Y is the direction that is considered perpendicular to the direction of the tool bed. And for Z, that is the up and down movement of the tool that is held on the spindle. Now moving into the third row, there you see three alphabets M, S and T, where M stands for miscellaneous codes. Miscellaneous functions are those that supports the main functions of the program. For example, if you want to change the tool from the magazine, you have to use the M code M06, that is for tool change. And when you have to apply lubricant, you have to select M07 or M08, that is for coolant on. Likewise, such auxiliary functions can be invoked by using the M code. Now, the next letter is called S. That code is specifically for spindle speed. If you are typing M03 and S1000, the machine tool will understand that the spindle has to be rotated in the clockwise direction at a speed of 1000 RPM. That is the significance of S. Now for tool change, as I have mentioned already, tool change and spindle speed comes along with the miscellaneous code. That's why it is coded or it is grouped in the same row. T is for tool change. If you want to change the tool, you need to write the program like here. M06 and T01 means the first tool in the tool drum. The tool that is designated as 1 in the tool drum will come into the spindle. In that way, the keys over this place is used. And now the last one. It is all about F and H and end of block. In the last one, the first letter is F. F stands for feed. And feed simply means the rate at which the tool advances or retracts with reference to the workpiece. That is a feed. It is usually represented in millimeter per minute or millimeter per RPM or inches per minute and RPM. So in this way, you can assign the feed value. So feed is also comes along with the G and M codes in the program simply. Now the next letter is H and D. H and D has due significance. H is the main letter, whereas D is a shifted key here. H is usually for tool length compensation that is used in the program, and D is for the tool radius compensation. And this will come along with certain G codes. Right now, you don't need to be worried about what this H and D are all about. That will be explained in the due course. Now the last letter is end of block. See, when you go through the display panel, you will see that every line in the program is ended by a semicolon. So then only the machine will understand that that particular block is ended. So that is the role of semicolon. Semicolon simply stands for you are ending a particular block. So that is the end of block. Now coming to the next cluster of keys, those are called as the number keys. Number keys are used in conjunction with the alphabet keys in order to make the program meaningful. When you take a particular block, you see here it is G91, G28 and Z0. You see that every alphabet is followed by a number, and that tells a specific meaning. In this way you write the program. So like every number keypad, you will see the number ranging from 0 to 9 in this keypad also. Now the next set of keys over here are called as the function keys. As the name suggests, these keys have specific functions attached to it. And the first of its kind I am going to tell you is the position key. Now it is already engaged, the position key. When you click the position key, you get to see the position of the tool and the workpiece. That is the current position of the tool and the workpiece, on which X and Y shows the current position of the work. I have already told you X is the direction that is measured or represented parallel to the work table, and Y perpendicular to the work table. So this shows the current position of the work, whereas Z shows the current position of the tool, that is simply the up and down motion of the tool. So this is a clear representation of the position with reference to the origin set by the user or the operator. So at the same time, concurrently I am going to explain the set of keys over here. These keys are called soft keys. These are called soft keys because there is no specific function attached to each key. Whereas this key helps you to navigate through the display panel with reference to the particular values set by the function keys. Say for instance, now for the position, when you click these keys, you can choose between different positions, so that every time a key is clicked, you will get to see different values that is displayed by the screen. For example, the first key shows the absolute value, second gives the relative value, both are same based on the setting now, and when I click the Alt, I get to see the absolute and the relative position of the tool and the workpiece, whereas the machine shows the current position of the tool and the workpiece relative to the home position of the machine. The home position is actually set by the manufacturer, whereas the relative and the absolute are the reference or the zero values or the origin values set by the operator. That is the difference. Now, going to the second key, this is called the program key. The program key, when pressed, shows the complete details of the program entered in the program memory. The one that you are seeing right now is the directory, where you see all the programs that is stored in the memory. If you want to get a particular program from it, I have to first put the mode in the edit board. Edit switch is not, you can't see it right now. I will explain you while the operator panel is explained. So in the operator panel, you have to set that switch in the edit mode. Then coming to here, you have to write a program name. I am setting, for instance, O1234. And you just click input, or sorry, I repeat, I go to program again, and when I write O1234 and just I click or search, that program will be displayed. Now if I want to write a program afresh, what I have to do is I have to give a suitable title. For example, if I am giving O7777 and clicking insert, a new page will be opened where I can write a program from the scratch. So there are different options. So before that, you need to understand while the program key is engaged, for any edits to happen, you have to put the mode selector in the edit mode. Now going to the next key, this is called the offset key. Offset key helps you to understand about all the features of the tool that is on use or that is being used. See, when you click the offset key, you get to know a table. A table will be popped up. The first row indicates the information about the first tool that is designated in the tool drum. So the first column shows the geometry value X that shows the Z offset of the tool. That I will explain in detail in the second episode, what is Z offset. In the third column, the second column shows the wear rate values of the tool. Now the tools, we don't usually use the wear value there. And for the third column shows the geometry, that is the radius of the tool is shown. So this is the radius value and this is the Z offset value. So some offset details will be shown here. Also, in the work, you have the work offset pages. I have told you that I will teach you about how to set the reference value. So the reference X, Y and Z values are actually shown here. So there are pages ranging from G54 through G57 and all the offset pages will be seen here. So for instance, you have different pages, page 17, page 18, page 19, 20. And depending upon the work that you are handling, you can set your offset values here. Offset values are nothing but setting the X, Y and Z reference of the work and the tool. So such things can be done in the offset page. Now coming to the custom and graph page. In the custom and graph page, you can see the magazine list over here. This is actually a table that shows the part number and tool number. Part number is actually the space or the mold into which a particular tool is kept. So here you have, say for instance, in the 6th part, the tool that is designated as NAND is placed. So the magazine list information will be available for the operator from this place. Again, I am going back to main menu, and when I go to the machine details, I get to see the tool details over here. So this is a tool drum and the tool details are displayed here. Then if I go to the lubrication value or the lubrication tab, I get to see about the status of lubricants. So all such details are displayed in the custom menu. When I click that custom and graph again, there is a table where I can, or there is a space where I can simulate my work. So if I am writing a program and I am going to execute it, before that, if I want to see the tool path, I can generate the tool path in the simulation or in the graph. I have an option for that. So that is all about graph and custom. Then go to the message. Message is actually an area where the machine has to display an alarm basically. There also you have the set of keys. When you click the history key, the machine will give you a comprehensive information about all alarms that shot the machine in the recent past. Then if you have a particular alarm show now, if I am engaging the emergency, that message will be displayed here. That alarm will be displayed here. So in that way, the alarm switch can be used. Now going to the system key. System key for the operator is not a necessity because system key is mainly used for the diagnosis. So as far as the operator is concerned, he should understand what a system key is all about, but this is specifically meant for the operator or the maintenance personnel. That is the system key. Now coming to the next set of keys, these are called the edit keys. As the name suggests, these keys are used to edit the program or the commands or the character that you enter into the program memory. So as the name suggests, again, the edit keys can be worked only if the mode selector is in the edit mode, just like the way I told you about programming. So by keeping the mode selector in the edit mode, I am just going to the program again to see a particular program I have just titled earlier. It is titled as O7777. And this area is called the input buffer or the program input buffer, where I have to enter the program block by block. Say for instance, I am going to write a sample block here where I am writing G0, X0 and Y10, and this program has nothing to do with the present position of the tool or the origin that I have set. I am just writing this for the sake of instruction purpose. That's it. And if I want to end the program, I am writing end of block. And through the edit keys, if I want to transfer this program to the main memory, I just have to click the insert button. So the first block is entered. In that way, you can enter block by block. So secondly, if I am just writing G01, X25, Y20, this program may lack sense, but you don't need to consider that. I'm just explaining this for the sake of understanding this part. And see, I have written up to this point, and if I want to cancel this, or if I want to delete the last entered character, I can simply click the cancel. So this cancel key is just equivalent with the backspace button in your QWERTY keyboard. like that. And if I want to erase this all at once, I have to click the delete so that the entire line remaining in the input buffer is deleted. Okay, again I am entering this G01, cancel G01, and I am giving some X value, X25, Y22, end of block, and I am inserting. So after it is transferred to the program memory, if I want to delete some values, the cancel will not have any role. If I simply press cancel, no change will happen. Even if I move to another folder and press cancel, nothing will happen. Cancel has a role only when the program or the block is in the input buffer. Now if I want to remove, now you can see when I simply navigate it through different characters, see, you can see that it gets highlighted. So when I press the delete, only the highlighted character or the highlighted word will be deleted. See, when I am deleting it, only the highlighted character will be deleted. Okay, in that way you can use the delete button there. Now, if I want to replace X25 with some other value, say for instance, if I have to replace it with Y22, I can write again here Y22, and when I click the alter key, that X25 will be replaced with Y22. In that way, you can use majority of the edit keys here. And this is all about the edit keys. Now coming to the last set of keys. Before that, I will tell you about the help button. Now the machine is wholeheartedly helping you to understand more about the machine through this help button. If you have a CNC machine in place in your department, just go there and simply click the help button. Then you will be able to know more about the machine. Just input. The operation method will be clearly represented. If you have time and patience for reading it, this is the best and recommended method for knowing more about the machine. So everything is there. Everything about the machine is listed there. If you want to know about the user help screen, just navigate through there and know about this. And if you want to know about further details, then you just go and find there. So that is all about the help key. Now coming to the last set of keys, and these are called the cursor control keys. Cursor control key that this is also seen in the computer keyboard. It has the same operation just like a computer keyboard. And here are the navigation keys, the up and down keys, the right and left keys. When you go to the offset page, and these arrows are used to navigate across columns and across rows. And if you want to go to pages, just click the page down and page up. So it will move across pages in each and every click. In that way, you can understand about the cursor control keys. So that is all about the MTA panel.
With this, we are reaching towards the end of the first episode. Here we have learned about how to use the MTA panel of the CNC machine. Also in the videos that follow, we will be dealing how to use the operator panel and how to input a program into the memory and how we can execute that successfully. For that, please watch out for my other videos as well. Thank you for watching this episode. Have a great day.